how many shoots do you really need to do as a portrait photographer to see real progress, turn this into your career so you can start by making serious money? Now, I don't think I can give you an exact or universal number because obviously I don't know your current situation as a portrait photographer. You could be a beginner who's just learning how to compose, how to light, more of the technical side of things. You could be someone who's more intermediate where they know how to take a good photo but they need to know how to market themselves, or you could just be in between. So in this video, we're just going to cover all the positions or stages that you may be in as a photographer or portrait photographer more specifically. And obviously I'm going to tell you exactly how many shoots that you should do to maximize your progress. And you may be surprised by what I tell you. And I won't just tell you how many shoots that you should do, but I'll also tell you what type of shoots that you should do. So let's get into it.
Are you kidding? Who let this kid in? You can't kid him. This man's blipped to death, he loves chilling. Skill set fresh.
So it's logical to start in chronological order. So let's start with the beginner stage, which you may be in right now. So if you're a beginner, you're learning the technical side to your photography. You're still learning about how to light, how to pose, how to compose. You're learning about what cameras you should use, what gear you should use, the basic stuff essentially, like the exposure triangle, all that sort of stuff. In this case, you want to follow the first step in the Photo Genius protocol, and that is by shooting your friends and your family. So the reason why I want you to start by shooting your friends and your family is because it relieves that tension. You can imagine if you're a beginner photographer and you're going to go straight into deep end and start by shooting models in a studio or whatever like that, you're going to be shitting yourself, if we're really being honest here. You know what I mean? You're going to be so nervous. You're going to be like, what do I do? And you're never going to take good photos because your nerves are getting the best of you. So the best way to kind of counteract that is by starting off shooting your friends and your family. And the good thing about this too, you can treat it like a hangout. I would suggest that when you book photo shoots with your friends or your family, you are almost doing it, you're basically just meeting up to have food, have a drink, play a sport or whatever. You're just doing what you usually do with your friends. It's just a hangout where you take photos along the way. And the reason why I want you to do this, because not only does it relieve tension, but also it won't feel like a waste of time if you didn't get any good photos out of it. You know what I mean? Like if you're just going there just for a photo shoot sake, like you're doing that, okay, we're here just to take photos and that is it. Then if you get bad photos and you get no good photos, it's gonna like kind of shit. And you're gonna have this very bad experience and connotation around photography, because every time you've just like dedicated a couple of hours of your day to just taking photos and they don't turn out good, you almost get discouraged by that. So when you're treating it like a hangout, like you're just hanging out like normal, if you don't get any good photos out of it, it's really not that big of a deal, because at least you tried and at least you got some quality time with your family, with your parents or your sister or your cousin or one of your best friends. Because I can definitely speak from experience. A couple of years ago when I first started doing photography in general, I was dabbling in some portrait photography too, I would do shoots with friends which were like more serious, or like, okay, we're booking a shoot, we're going to just take photos and we can go home and that's the only thing we're going to do is take photos. That's the main objective of the day. And I notice not only am I quite nervous on the day because I'm quite new to it, I don't really, all that type of stuff, and also if I didn't get any good photos out of it, it'd feel like a waste of time. It's like, oh my God, I just wasted like 2 hours of my time for that. Like, it's annoying. But I've also done shoots with my friends where it's just like a hangout. It's just basically a hangout. We're going to meet up in the city centre. We're going to have some food, have some drinks, but we're also going to take some photos along the way. And when we do it like that, it's a more of a fun experience too. You know what I mean? Like you get to hang out with your friends, but you're like killing two birds with one stone. You're spending quality time with your friends, but you're also taking some photos along the way and learning about your photography. So you want to use these shoots as your training ground essentially of your photography. You just want to don't be afraid to make mistakes. You want to take your time. Don't worry about like taking the piss with, okay, I need to compose my image properly. I need to learn how to expose it properly. Don't just be like, my settings are all wrong and it's overexposed, but I don't have to change it. So I'm just gonna take the photo because I don't want to waste the model's time. Like, don't do that. This is the time where you can really just sit back and take the piss of it. Legit, like take 2 minutes to take one photo. If you have to take that long to take a photo, that is completely fine. Again, because you're shooting your friends and your family, they're not going to be bothered by it. They're not going to be like, take the photo, man, just get it out of the way. They're going to be more, obviously if they're nice people, right, hopefully they're nice people if they're your friends or your family, then you're just going to allow yourself to take your time and just go slow with it. Make sure the exposure is right, pose them really well, learn about posing beforehand, make maybe like a little Pinterest board of some poses that you want to do or something, you know what I mean? Like, you just, you know what I mean, doing the basics, you just learn. This is a place where you don't want to be afraid of making mistakes. You don't really care. You just take your time. It's your training ground. Make mistakes, do good things too, like whatever it is, just shoot basically. So how many of these shoots do you want to do? Well, I would personally say as much as possible. So once or twice a week. And that phase is going to last a few months in my opinion, depending how quick you kind of like catch on it, right? If that makes any sense, or how quickly you kind of like develop your skills as a photographer. Like it might take you only a couple of months, a couple of photo shoots to get the knack of it, but sometimes it may take you a few months to really understand posing and understand compositions and maybe lighting if you're doing it in a studio. And yeah, so I'll definitely say as much as possible, once or twice a week. Right now, it's really about, in this stage, it's really about quantity over quality here. Don't be nitpicky with, oh, like, I don't want to do that because it might not turn out that good. Like, you're just starting out. You're going to take shit photos. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't be afraid. Again, like I said before, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to take shit photos and just do as much as possible, because this is how you're going to learn, because you want to get out of this stage as quickly as possible. Because I have a photography program where I personally coach people and they get access to courses and stuff like that. And there's a student on there and he's in this stage really. He's like in this more beginner stages where he's just learning about lighting and composing and the basic stuff like that. And he tells me like he's trying to do like 1 or 2 shoots every single week. He's trying to shoot something every single week with a model, with one of their friends or something like that. And it's great. It's great because that's what is going to help them improve. And ever since he joined the program, he's just been making so much progress. Like when he first started, his photos weren't the best, but then now I feel like his photos have already instantly improved. Remember on the last call we did, he was like, okay, I was looking at his photos, like, okay, let's see some photos that you've taken in the last like week or so. And he literally did like, he had like 3, 4, 5 photos or something, like a handful of photo shoots to show me, which is crazy. Like he had so many photos to show me, and like that's exactly what you need to do. This is exactly how you need to approach your photography if you want to start making real progress. So again, because your goal is to get out of this stage as quickly as possible, you want to shoot as much as possible. Don't take the piss of it. I mean, like, oh, I do like 1 shoot a month or 2 shoots a month. You have to take it. You have to like really like step on the gas here and just do as much as possible. And to be honest and frank, if you're in those beginning stages, you're not going to be making a lot of money or really any money at all from your photography. And obviously, if you're watching this video, you want to start by making serious money and making this your career. So you have to kind of get out of this stage as quickly as possible. You may get 1 or 2 bookings or something like that from someone that will probably pay you like $100 for a shoot, which is obviously not the best. I think you should still take those shoots up because that's good experience, but obviously that's not something you want to be doing for the rest of your career. You want to be taking up like $1,000 shoots and a few $100 shoots. So yeah, again, get out of the stage as quickly as possible, follow the advice I just told you, and you will be out of the stage as quickly as possible.
It was all so simple. If I really want it, then I got it. More than profit, melanin glow. Watch me rise and flow.
Okay, so now that you surpassed the beginning stages, now let's talk about the intermediate stage. So in this stage of your career, you can probably take a really good photo. You're probably pretty good at taking photos. You know how to light, you know how to probably pose your models maybe, or you kind of know about that a little bit, but you just don't really know how to market yourself. Maybe you've landed 1 or 2 clients, but you don't know how to really start by landing more jobs consistently. So now in this stage, you want to follow the second step of the Photo Genius protocol, and that is by shooting non-models. And non-models are basically aspiring models, or people that don't even have any aspiration of becoming a model, but they're quite good at it. Basically, that's what a non-model is. And the reason why I tell you to shoot non-models is because they are harder to pose. If you've ever done a photo shoot with an actual model before, and they know what they're doing and they know how to pose, you can really just kind of play on autopilot in a way, and then you can just let them do what they need to do, and you can really direct them. You don't have to direct them at all, basically. But with a non-model, because they don't really know posing that much, some models, some people that aren't models know how to pose, but there are people out there that don't really know how to pose. You have to learn, you need to learn how to pose your model professionally. I think it's an essential thing to learn as a photographer. Obviously the goal is in the future when you're working with these big pro models, they can just do what they would need to do and they don't really need direction. But to get to that point, you need to learn as a photographer how you can pose a model. Like, you want to be able to work with anyone and make them look good. And the only way you can be able to do that is by shooting non-models. Because you can imagine if you're shooting a model and the only people you shoot are actual really good models, you're kind of spoilt in that way, and like you're never going to have that experience of posing your models properly because they just know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Because I've been on these really big shoots before for clothing brands as like photography assistant. I've been doing BTS and all that sort of stuff, and I've learned so much from these big fashion photographers. And when they're on shoots with these models, they can just do what they want because the models are pros, they're part of agencies or anything like that. They just know what they're doing, and the photographer can barely direct the model. The photographer can just take the photo, maybe occasionally say something like, okay, put your foot this way or do this expression or something like that. But for the most part, the model is just doing their thing, and then the photographer is just composing and taking photos and just saying affirmation, being like, well, you're doing a good job, sick, all that sort of stuff. Like, that's really it. But they've earned that right. They've earned that pleasure of not having to direct a model. You haven't earned that yet, so you need to start by photographing people that don't know how to pose and need direction, and then to actually earn that right to shoot professional models. So I want you to start by doing advanced experimentation. Now that you've gone past the beginning stages, you know how to light, you know how to compose your image, you know how to take a good photo. It's not about, oh, how can I light and learning about lighting, but it's also now it's learning about how can you find your style, what type of lighting do you want to stick to, what type of color palette do you want to stick to, what type of models do you want to shoot, what type of themes do you like to go for. You need to look at that thing now. Because for me, I was in those intermediate stages like last year, the start of 2024, and I did so much experimenting. I did so many different shoots. I was doing all sorts of different types of lighting techniques and poses and different types of models and styling and makeup choices and sorts of like themes, and whatever it was, I was trying everything. And later on in the year, I discovered the importance of the pre-production phase of planning your photo shoots. And in my other videos, I like to call this the genius shoots. So this is the shoots that you want to thoroughly plan. You may even want to budget the shoot, and then you source a team. So let's look at the first point, planning. You need to plan the photo shoot out. What I mean is by considering everything in your photo, creating mood boards and references for every aspect of the shoot. So you want to look at what type of styling do you want, what type of makeup do you want, what type of model do you want. You have like a casting direction on there, the general concept of the photo shoot. What's the story that you're trying to tell? What is the lighting going to be? What is the types of poses? You're making a shot list for it. You're going all out here, because when you do it like this, because you're keeping into account everything in your photo, everything in your shoot is intentional, so you can kind of keep track of what type of stuff that you like to shoot, what type of styling that you like the most, what type of model do you like to shoot, what type of lighting do you like to go for, and then that is going to help you find your style even quicker. And there's another student on my photography program who is in this more intermediate stage, and he didn't really have any idea he didn't really have a clear idea of like what type of work that he wanted to create and how to stick to a certain style. And just through a couple of calls of him, looking over the courses and stuff like that, he's been able to find out exactly what type of work that he needs to create. And when I told him what type of work that he needs to create from now on, he's doing these genius shoots, he's planning out the photo shoots, he's making a shot list, he's doing all that sort of stuff, and he's creating his best work yet. If you want to be like my students on my photography program and you want to learn how to find your style as quickly as possible and get out of these stages as quickly as possible, guys, click the top link below, which is obviously my photography program, Phil Genius University. You'll get access to personal coaching with me. Like every single week we go on a call, we look at your portfolio. I'll tell you exactly what type of work that you need to create and what type of work that you don't want to create, so you're not wasting time doing photo shoots that will not land you clients. Because sometimes you just need an extra eye to look at your portfolio and realize what type of work that you need to start by creating. So again, top link below if you want to join. I think you should join, it's cheap, so yeah, join today. Because this intermediate stage is like your finding yourself stage as a photographer. You're trying to find your style. You're not just learning the basics of your camera anymore, but you're beyond that. You need to learn about what type of photographer are you, because you can't just keep creating any sort of work, because that is not going to land you clients. Clients do not want to see range in your photography. They don't want to see that you can do everything. They want to see that you're really good at one specific way of shooting. So you need to use this stage to find your style and find out how are you unique as a photographer? What is different compared to the competition? So in this stage of your career, if you want to know how many photo shoots that you should do, I'm saying 2 to 4 photo shoots per month, because I think that's enough photo shoots where you can experiment with all sorts of different styles, but it's also not too much where you're going to feel burnt out and just getting bored of it. Obviously, when I'm referring to how many photo shoots that you do, I'm referring to collaborative shoots, like portfolio building shoots where no one's paid, it's a collaborative or TFP basis. And obviously you can dabble in models and non-models. I'm not telling you to only shoot non-models. Like obviously I said earlier about shooting non-models because you obviously want that experience of direction and posing, but you don't have to just shoot non-models. Obviously shoot non-models in the first place, but overall you can shoot both models and non-models. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean? Like if you have a photo shoot concept or you have a photo shoot in mind and there's this really cool model that you want to shoot with and they're willing to work with you for free and they're an actual professional model, just work with them. That's completely fine. I'm not telling you to not do that at all. Like you're allowed to do that, of course, but shoot non-models for the most part because you get that experience. Also, like I said earlier about the Genius shoots, one of the things I said was sourcing a team for your photo shoots. Consider sourcing a team, getting like some assistance for you to set up lights and stuff like that to like kind of speed up the process of your photo shoots. Not hiring out, but like collaborating with a makeup artist, getting a stylist on board. There are plenty of makeup artists and stylists that are willing to collaborate with you for completely free, because if you're in this stage as well, your work is probably pretty good, so they're going to see that and think, oh, I don't mind working with you for free. And obviously don't have that limiting belief in being like, oh, my work isn't good enough, no one's going to work with me for free. Like, don't think that. Like, always shoot your shot with this type of stuff, because you'll be surprised how many people are willing to work with you for free, because they're trying to build their portfolio too, just like you. So try it out. Message some makeup artists on Instagram or something like that, or some stylists. It's like you will find someone to work with. And just like the beginner stage, you want to get out of this stage as quickly as possible. You need to find your style as quickly as possible so you can start by creating your best work that will land you clients in the future. And like I said earlier, my program, which is top link below, will help you get out of both of these stages as quickly as possible, so you don't have to like twiddle your thumbs and be like, oh, what types of shoots should I do? And you're doing all these different styles and you're just going back and forth and you're not making any progress like I was at some point in my career. I don't want the same thing happening to you. Like, I will literally look over your portfolio. I'll go on a call with you and personally look at your portfolio live and tell you exactly what type of work that you need to be creating, how you can improve your work, it's basically everything. You can obviously ask me questions. Yeah, it's like ridiculous how easy it is going to be for you when you join this program. On top of all of that, you get access to all these courses that you see on the screen. You learn how to network with models, how to find stylists, how to find makeup artists to work with, how to price yourself if you get an inquiry, how to create client magnet type of work. I mean, it's literally a cheat code if you join basically, and it's only $47 a month. Look at that. $47 a month. That is it. That's like an SD card. That's not even like a lot of money, and like I made it cheap on purpose so all of you can access it. So I want you to join right now. I don't care what position you're in right now as a photographer. I want you to join right now. Click the top link below, join now, make it super easy for you. And I don't want to see you just messing about anymore. So yeah, make some real progress. Okay, so on to the last stage I'm going to cover in this video, the advanced stage. So I would personally say I'm in this current stage in my career. You can create amazing photos, you found your style, you know what to do, and you probably land regular clients. But the only small issue that you have is that you need to land bigger and better jobs. So you're already landing quite a lot of work, but you want to get even bigger, more high paying work. You want to make sure that all the photo shoots that you're doing are amazing. Like every shoot that you do, it's like another little like imprint on your portfolio. Like, yes, you created something amazing that day. You want to do genius shoots every single time. You want to source a team. You want to plan it out thoroughly. You want to maybe even put money towards the shoot to elevate it to another level. For example, for me, on every single photo shoot that I do, I have at least one extra crew member with me. If it's an assistant doing BTS, or if it's a makeup artist, if it's a stylist, if it's, I don't know what else you would do, like a creative director, whatever, or producer, whatever it is, I have someone there on set with me. And also for this one too, make sure to shoot professional models only, or even as people that are really good at modeling. You don't really want to be wasting your time with people that don't really know how to pose or don't really know how to do the basic stuff like that. Like, you want to work with people that like know what they're doing. I want you to be as cutthroat as possible with this now. Treat the time and the shoots that you do to build up your portfolio as precious as possible. Every shoot that you do needs to be amazing. Like I said, every shoot that you do has to be a hit. So I would say in this stage, you want to do between 1 to 3 photo shoots per month. So that gives you enough time to obviously fill in the gaps with paid shoots. So you will be getting a decent amount of paid shoots every single month. So you don't want to do too many collaborative shoots, because obviously you need time to work on those projects, like the paid projects. So 1 to 3 is pretty good. At the moment, I'm doing about 1 to 2 at the moment. I might up it to 3 at some point, but for the most part, it's about 1 to 2. I would say the amount of shoots I'm doing right now is the perfect amount, because it gives me enough time to prepare for each photo shoot, sourcing a team, making the presentation, booking the studio, all sorts of stuff, while also being able to juggle my paid projects at the same time. So anyway guys, that is it. Again, click the top link below if you want to start by accelerating your portrait photography progress, landing clients and making serious money from your portrait photography. It's really simple when you join. Yeah. That is it for the video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment if you want to. Click on any of these videos here to learn more about portrait photography. And I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.